Good evening, people. My 2 pips, another episode going down tonight. Had to move it up a little bit, or move it back, I should say. Wanted to see the State of the Union address by President Orange Man. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. Big week in the markets, man. 600. This is crazy. I haven't had a week like this so fast. It's only Tuesday, and I've locked in about 480 pips of that 670 pips. I've actually closed, realized. It's important. There's a difference between a running P&L and realized P&L. Just remember that. It's not your money until you take it off the table. So we're going to get started here in a second. If you guys want to call in, you can do that as well. I'll have the lines open. There's a number on the screen. Added a new pair as well. We'll talk about that tonight. The yen, or US versus the yen pair, that is now live. Rolled that out Sunday. Already made gains on that as well. We'll take a look at all that in a second here. But give me a call in if you guys want to.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks! We'll do it live.
Okay. Yes, indeed. We are doing it live yet again. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. Let me get this chat room synced up here. We got a lot to talk about. Malik Howard, what's going on? Do a roll call. Only got one person in the chat right now. Looks like about 10 people watching, but Malik, what's going on, man? How are you? Guys, go ahead and give me a call if you would like. We can talk trading. We'll look at Bitcoin as well. And the stock market is going crazy. I've got an algo. I pretty much took the system I'm running on the 6 pairs right now, my blood ATM algo. I overlaid it on the S&P Spider Index. It really actually trades pretty well. I haven't looked at it in a week though, but I did tweak the parameters on the fly, and it kind of synced up pretty well with my strategy. So maybe we'll take a look at that as well. I haven't looked at it in over a week. Pull that up. We'll take a look at that. Yeah, as you guys can see here, crazy week so far. The Tech Geek, what's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well today. Let me pull this down so you guys can see this a little bit better. Will45, what's up, man? So yeah, guys, over 670 pips, 480 or so locked in and loaded. So those are gains off the table. And we're going to go through a sequence of trades here. Great way to start the week, that's for sure. So if I I'm just gonna pull an extended view up. We can take a look at this before we look at some of the fundamentals, because you have to understand here, it's important to know fundamentally what's going on in the FX market. Even if you're following a strategy that's automated, like I do, I let the trades run. However, there are some instances, and I'm gonna show you one tonight, where on the pound Aussie, I end up taking some off the table at a significant support area. In addition to that, you need to understand how pairs correlate with things like oil. Oil is having a hard time right now. It's, because of the coronavirus, because of a number of factors that we're seeing headwinds with oil or crude oil. You need to understand how that plays in the FX market. There is some correlation or negative correlation there that you should pay attention to. Also, Brexit is another issue, and we're really seeing the pound lose a lot of steam from that Brexit situation. It's losing a lot of value versus other pairs. So what that means is, if the signal goes short, you could possibly bank on and maybe add a little bit more risk to the profile or to the trade, because we know that the overall trend is probably down for pound pairs. So that's something to keep in mind. Clay said Tesla explained, don't spurt. I don't know what that means. Bro. Yeah, we'll talk about Tesla as well, but let's look at these currency pairs first, because Tesla is a crazy situation as well. Insane, absolutely insane. A lot of people are going to get hurt. Over 12,000 accounts on Robinhood bought Tesla for the first time yesterday. 12,000. Crazy. That is just crazy. 12,000 accounts on Robinhood bought Tesla yesterday at near all-time highs. It's just going to end. It's going to end badly. So, yeah, let's look at these trades though for the week. So as you guys know, I demark the end of the week with this kind of glow halo area. And so for the euro yen, the first pair this week, or first trade this week, happened on the 4th, which was really kind of going into, it was like last night going into today. But as you can see, we did take a profit here at 47 pips, and we're still open on the rest of that trade. So only not too much activity on the euro yen. But here's where it starts to get, we start to see some real gains locked in here. So as you can see, we took this trade on the pound yen. This is the beginning of the week right here. Let me zoom in so you can see. We went short on Sunday, and we took profit here, 130 pips right here. That's 30% profit, take profit. Another 30% take profit here at around 140 pips. And then we closed the rest of that trade at 130 pips roughly. And that was a good move. Come out the gate. 140 pips locked in. So then we did have some back and forth here going on. So we tried to go long here, turn short, end up getting stopped out, and then we end up going long here at around 141.99, or just about 142 flat. And that was another 49 pips, and now we're short. We went short about an hour ago. As you can see here, went short about an hour ago. So good sequence of trades this week on the pound yen already. But boy, here is the big one here. Euro I'm sorry, pound Aussie. I told you guys when this is why I layered my algo on top of the pound Aussie, because when you get a trade, let me tell you, when you get a trend with this pair, it will go 200 pips, 100, like 200, 300 pips easily. You just got to let it play out. You just got to let it play out. You just got to let it play out. And so with the pound Aussie, we first took profit here around 280 pips. And then we just, like, literally before I got on, took another 30% profit on this trade as well in the 230 pip area as well. Actually, like almost 300 pips for the second one. Yeah, 319 pips roughly. I took profit here. I told you guys that I was working with Pine Script or support over at TradingView to figure out the proper way to take profits on my algo, so that it will reflect in the actual trades, not just on my because I have two scripts running. The strategy script, which is the actual trade, and then it kind of gives you the performance value. If you look right now, there's no trade here as far as a record of a trade being closed. It's just simply showing, you know, like an open trade. Okay, it's not reflecting those two take profits there. And so if what they sent me works, then we'll be able to show more detail on you know, kind of my trade sequences within not Telegram, but TradingView. So I'm gonna work on that later tonight or tomorrow to see if I can get that implemented on the study side. Now the strategy, on the strategy side. Now the study is what you see as far as these dots that show me, you know, take profit. And I have that synced up to my my plugin, which initiates the trade in MT4. So I'm still automatically taking profit here at these dots. It's just not being reflected fully in the trade log on TradingView. But yeah, that was a good trade right there. I mean, that's big money right there. Big money. So that was a huge chunk of the pips that I had for this week already. Was that one trade right there. Over 300 pips. Over 300 pips. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next one, which is, we've got the pound dollar. There was some sequence of trades there that were really good this week as well. Went short again. Pound Aussie and pound dollar. We went short on those pairs, meaning we shorted the pound. Okay, we betted against the pound quite naturally. The trend gave us that. I don't try to forecast which way stuff goes. Okay, I just let it run out. I let the price action, and that's what the algo does. It follows the price action. There's no trying to predict what's going on, which direction. No, you just follow the price action and let the trade enter you. You know, let the price action enter the trade for you. So this was out the gate on Sunday, actually Monday morning. We had 146 pips on that trade. We tried to go long after that. End up taking a L on that. Got stopped out. Actually, didn't even get stopped out. We closed because we ended up closing below my pivot point. So we closed there, and then we went back long here at 1.3082 and took that. We're kind of still in this trade, so not too much action here with that, but that first one really got us ahead of the game this week on that pound dollar. So I'm gonna get to the chat room in a second here. I want to go over these trades as we start the week. So euro pound. So again, remember the pair that is on the right side of this, whatever pair you're trading. If you're going long any pair, you're basically shorting or betting against the pair on the right side of that slash. So when we went long here on the euro pound, that means that we're shorting the pound, essentially doing the same thing we did with the pound dollar and the pound Aussie. We shorted that, but in this case, because this pair is euro versus the pound dollar, we went long, which is essentially shorting the pound as well. And as you see, bam, big move up, big trade, 82 pips on that trade. We tried to go short after that, got tapped out. Tried to go short again for a minor gain here. It wasn't much on this trade. I remember this. 10 pips or so. Then we tried to go long again and got tapped out. We're neutral right now on euro pound, but that was a good move, a good trade out the gate for this week as well. And then finally, the new pair paying dividends already. The yen, or dollar yen, you can call it, but it's the yen. This trade, I'm still in this trade, by the way. Still in this trade, and as you can see, we went long. I'll zoom in for you. Those blue dots or blue areas are long positions, and these red areas are short positions. So we went long here, closed that for about 7 pips. Then we tried to go short. Ended up closing at a loss on that one, which was roughly 21 pips. But boy, oh boy, we went long and we hit it out the ballpark on this one. Look at that trade. I'm gonna have to zoom out so you can see it. As you can see here, roughly 79, 80 pips on that one. And for this pair, I actually doubled my trade size on the pound, on the yen, because it's not dollar for dollar, it's a little less. So like a tick or a pip up or down is not one, depending on how much you're trading. If I'm talking about like one lot, it's not $10 exactly. It's less than $10. So I usually double up on that, and good move on that. So essentially, it's almost like I made 160 pips almost on that particular one versus my regular trades. So yeah, but I only count it for the week as far as tallying. I only count it as if I was trading my normal trade size. Crypto Angels, what's good, baby? So let me see what these guys are talking about in the chat room, because I think I'm missing a whole bunch here. So let me scroll up and see what's going on. This, I've never even seen Clade. Who is Clade? So Clade is he says, yes, I stopped smoking. You can also don't smoke cigars that kill the old cigar smoker. This guy, man, you guys got to troll. Somebody eliminate this guy. Matter of fact, I got something for him. I got something for you, bro. I'm gonna give you the revolver. Sit down. Sit down. So let's see if I got anyone else in here. The Tech Geek, he's good. He's good. Give him a chance. Yeah, Clade is drunk. He telling me to stop smoking cigars. He need to stop drinking. Stop drinking, boy. Let's see here. So that's it. It's pretty much just Clade in here trolling. Shout out to Clade. Thanks for joining tonight, though. Hey, matter of fact, go ahead and call in, Clade, since you want to troll. See, trolls only be trolling on chat room. Why don't you go ahead and call in, Clade? We can talk. Or somebody give me a call if you want to. But what I want to talk about tonight, in addition to those sequence of trades, man, like I said, up big time. So I'm pretty much for sure. I know the market is going to give back a few of those pips. but the trends have this week have been so strong in one direction that I'm pretty confident I'm going to end the week definitely above 500 pips for the week, which is a very good week. Half a thousand pips is, I mean, even 100 pips is a good week. You know, it's all relative, right? Depending on how much you're trading. Because if you're, you know, like for me, 6 pairs, let's say you're trading one lot, right? Per six pairs. So basically you got 6 lots on the table altogether. That is in the 5-figure, as far as actually 6-figure as far as profit. So 5 figures as far as profits for the week already. So yeah, you know, it just depends on how much you're putting on the table as far as your trades, and you want to make sure your risk management is intact. You don't want to overtrade. You definitely don't want to overtrade. So Christopher Ladd said, what up, people? What's going on, Christopher Ladd? Thanks for joining tonight. So I want to take a look at gold. Gold is under pressure right now. So we'll have to see how this pans out for gold. But it is definitely under pressure right now. Get that chart, that article up there. There we go. So it said gold prices extend losses while nearing multi-day bottom. Flashed the previous day. Upbeat data from key economic data. China efforts to placate investors keep the risk tone light. So let's talk about China, because China has done some unprecedented moves. They've injected, you talk about QE. This is what I mean, people. This is just insane. They're going to do whatever it takes to keep this party going, or attempt to. The reason why I felt like the coronavirus could have been the black swan event that everyone is looking for is because on a short time frame, China injecting, I think 200 billion, 300 billion into the markets, directly into the markets when they opened, or actually on Tuesday, going into Tuesday, they injected over 200 billion. That stuff will work temporarily, but if the coronavirus continues to spread and is an issue and impedes business, then it's not going to do anything long term. You can't print your way out of GDP shrinkage. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it. So I think this coronavirus thing can be a huge issue if it continues to spread the way that I'm thinking that it really is. They're not giving us real numbers on it. You got to know that. And so, I think that they're going to continue to print, right? That's why you see the market's up today. Tesla's up. I don't know how much Tesla was up just today, but this year, and remember, we're only in month 2. We're only in month 2. Let me bring that up. Matter of fact, we could talk about Tesla. Actually, before we talk about Tesla, I want to just come back to this gold thing, because what you have to understand about gold and the FX markets, there's a correlation with gold and the Aussie dollar. Okay, so if gold is going higher, you're going to see it pair well, or normally pairs very well with the Aussie dollar. Now, I don't have any pairs or algos running on the Aussie dollar yet. I was trying to get my algo to fit on the CAD or the Loonie. That's the US Canadian dollar pair. I couldn't get that to work on that pair. It's just too... It doesn't have good price action. It'll just stay in a real tight range and then move up violently off of fundamental news. It's known to do that. So I really couldn't model my algo on the CAD or Loonie. But with gold, I'm going to definitely try to do that with the Aussie dollar, because there is a good correlation above 0.8 correlation, positive correlation with the Aussie dollar and gold. So that's something to keep in mind. If gold is going higher, you're going to see the Aussie dollar move in that direction as well. And then vice versa with the CAD, with the loonie. That's why I was trying to get the loonie on, because I could basically trade crude oil as a proxy through loonie, but I couldn't get the algo to work. So with the loonie or the CAD, you essentially have a negative correlation with oil. So if oil is going up, you're going to have the CAD go down. If you have oil going down, you're going to have the CAD go up. So those are things you want to keep in mind from a fundamental standpoint. It just helps you determine, you know, what pairs to really like maybe double down on. If gold is doing well and this, you know, you have a trade to go long on Aussie, you may want to put 1.5x on the trade versus just your normal amount for that particular trade, because you know that gold is doing well in that session. So that's just something to keep in mind. Let's see what the chat room is saying. Oh, the tech geek said the Tesla did like 20% in one day. And that's just insane. And people are going to get hurt, man. People are going to get hurt. Christopher Ladd said good plummets as global equities surge today. Yeah. Oh, gold plummets. Yeah, gold plummets. Absolutely it did. Risk off, man. I mean, risk on for equities, risk off for gold. You know, so that's what happens. You know, that's what happens when you have, you know, intervention on this level. And I really think the equity markets went up today simply because of China and its injection of billions of dollars into the market directly. So when that happens, that money's going to spill over into the best place to park your cash in the world, and that is the U.S. equities market. So that is us seeing that rally, and basically we took back and erased all of the crash that we saw on Friday. In 2 days, we erased it. I think we're above. I believe we're above where we were on Friday, or we closed on Friday, so, or opened on Friday. So when you have these type of interventions in the short term, you're going to get the stock market to move up. The problem is it can't last forever. However, unfortunately, we don't know how long it will last. We just know it won't last forever. So it's unfortunate because a lot of people are going to get hurt. A lot of people are going to get hurt with this intervention that they're doing to basically take your attention off of the coronavirus, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think these moves, these interventions are clearly just a way for them to take your attention off of the coronavirus. Because if the stock market looks good, that means that everything is okay. That's how they treat us. That's exactly how they treat us. Stock market doing well, we can keep people's attention off of potential catastrophic news. So John Hill in the chat room says, I said last week gold has bearish divergence on the daily and weekly. So let's take a look at gold real quick. Let's do that. Let's take a look at gold on CNBC. Let's do that. Wow. So yeah, Dow Jones ended 407, up 407 today. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. If I zoom down, we still haven't made a newer high yet. So we still got to get to 28,864 bucks for me to say the trend is starting to move higher. But you know, they'll do anything to keep this thing propped up. So let's take a look at gold really quickly. The April contract, COMEX. And maybe I should bring this up on TradingView, to be honest with you. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this up on TradingView in a second. But we did see, what is this? What time frame is this here? Is this daily? Think so. Yeah. So we did see a bottom earlier today, it looks like. So we may be building a base here, but it'll be better if I just pull this up in TradingView, because we can get more, I can do some charting on this. But John Hill, you say there's a bearish divergence on the weekly and daily, so you think that gold is heading lower? Is that what you're saying? So I'm going to pull up this other chart so we can load in gold. Load chart. Stocks. So this is the spider S&P 500 index here. But I want to pull up gold really quickly. See if I can pull gold up. I don't know what the futures. I should probably pull up the futures. I don't know why it's not pulling. Oh, it's under Oneida. I mean, let's get that off of there. All exchanges. Let's do gold. Gold futures, COMEX, and we'll do current contract. So as you can see here, I mean, if you chart it up, man, there still is we're still in a downtrend for sure. I wouldn't say we've broken above anything yet. As you can see right here. And then you can also extend from this pivot. You can even do another one from the last area, or where is it, right here? I'm just gonna move this over. You can do something like that. So really, you know, we got to see. But there was an area of support that I saw the other night. And let me just fix the scaling on this because it looks all messed up right now. There we go. So there was an area of support that I think we broke. Right there. That was an area of support that we broke. Brit VR, what's going on, bro? He said, I see it on the weekly. Okay, so we're on the 5-minute right now. So let me go out to the weekly. For you long-term traders, I could never trade that on that time frame. Because, I mean, your stop loss, you have to risk so much to make a trade unless you timed it perfectly. But, man, I'm not in the game of timing stuff perfectly. But if we look at it from this perspective, I would say we're still on a oh snap, my bad. I gotta do a trend line here. Boom. So we did break above the original trend line. And it was a nice test on the backside of that trend line, actually twice. If you see here, once it touched the backside of that or top side of it, that's good. That's a good indication that you know, continuation of that. And then from here, I mean, you could do something like this, where I can zoom out and do a long-term one from out here, like that. No, that's not gonna work. It's got to go like this. And then from here, you can extend the pivot out and do it from here if you would like that. That's how you do that. Boy, y'all better learn how to draw some trend lines from your boy CB. You better learn. So yeah, it's still an uptrend. And then you could do a mini, like a really, I don't like doing these types of, this is too steep. I don't do that. So I would never do that. You could, but I wouldn't. I would never do a line that steep. So at this point, as far as support and resistance goes on gold, you do have an area right where we are. If I zoom in, you'll see what I'm talking about. That turquoise line there. I'm just gonna drop this so you guys will really see what's going on here. So that line that I drew right there, we tapped off of there 3, maybe even more than that. I mean, I'm just counting 1, 2, and this area is like a few times it touched that zone, that support area. Then it broke it, but now we're trying to get back above it. I think we are above it. So what happened is, it was a rejection the first time, rejection here, but it came back up and it breached it. So I think personally, you know, this is a bearish move. I mean, a bullish move. This is a bullish move, seeing that we have closed on the weekly. We've closed a few weeks above this. What is this? 1542 area. So we need to keep that area. John Hill wants me to put the MACD and RSI on the. So for you guys that don't know, the inside joke, we call John Hill John Default because his trading strategy is using a MACD and RSI with default parameters, and he just slaps it on the chart. And he said it works. So we're gonna test his default theory out really quickly tonight. So I'm gonna add in here the RSI. That's not the right. I have to do plus. Whatever. I'll do it from here. So RSI default, and then MACD. I want to say we'll do this one. What do I have those dots for? I think I had that. Okay. All right. So here we go. John Default. John Hill. So I've got your MACD. I've got your RSI on the chart here. So help us out. What do you see? What's your trading strategy here? I don't use indicators, by the way, people. So this is all. Of course, I used to, but I think you can use support, resistance, trend lines, possibly Fibonacci extensions and retracements if you want, especially if you're going into uncharted territory where you haven't been, you know, the price of that particular asset hasn't seen that price region. But yeah, I don't use any of this stuff, so school me on this, my friend. So he's saying he does a divergence which I don't know how you read a divergence with the MACD and RSI. I'm still confused about that strategy, to be honest with you. The issue I have with so the peak, he says I have circled right here, I guess. That means the RSI is well overbought at this point. But I'm not sure how he's reading that. So that's overbought. Usually a divergence is two indicators going in the opposite direction. So overbought, and I see this being in a bought area as well. Overbought region as well. I don't see a divergence. So John Hill's going to call in so he can explain this revolutionary strategy that works for him. Honestly, I don't even doubt that it works. It probably does work because no one's using it. You want to have a strategy that no one uses or very, very few people use so that you can extract some alpha, you know, so you can have an edge in the market. That's what you want, people. So we're gonna get John Hill to call in here in a second. Brit VR said, my man from Chi-Town said the chart peak is in a uptrend, the RSI is in a downtrend. Yeah, but Brit, John Hill, and I got him on the phone now, so we'll just talk to him. John Hill, John Default, go ahead, man.
What's up, man?
Hey.
Yeah, so the from that peak that you guys circled, like I said, you can, and you see it on our side in the MACD that you have elevated, you got a higher peaks on both than the one on your right. That's divergence. That's as simple as it is. Like you'll have a high and then have a higher high, and then you have on your indicators, they will be lower. And that's it.
But I don't see the divergence. I see RSI and MACD both showing buy signals or overbought, I should say.
Yeah, it's overbought. And if you look on, like I said, at the higher high on the right, and you look at the MACD and the RSI is lower, and the MACD is lower as well. So what's that signaling in is there's some buyer exhaustion, and usually you get a retrace. You can use your Fibonacci retracement. Mm-hmm. And you can get some targets. And now if it hits the 236, the first fib, that signals that it could be potential. You're gonna have a significant pullback to between the 382 to the golden zone, the 618. And you can hit those retracements and then keep going. But if it's bullish, it might only hit the 236 and then keep running. But that's how I would play.
Now I will say this. I don't know if you guys can see that one. Darn it, I didn't mean to move that. That one candle here. That's very bearish right there. What do you call that? A shooting star? Is that a shooting star? I believe that's a shooting star. I don't trade candle patterns, but they do indicate things.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they don't. They really do. So I think that's a shooting star, and that is that's not a good sign for bulls. But it was interesting because we saw a run up right after the shooting star, but it couldn't get back above the peak of that wick on that shooting star, which was at 1612. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because I would go to the from the previous low to the new high, and I would start the fibs from there, from the low to the high,
and I would see if it hits one of those targets, like the two, if it hits the 236, then I'll be like, oh, that was signal to me. Like, if it keeps struggling, it's going to continually, it's going to continue to go down and hit one of those fibs, and then I would look for bullish divergence on to find a buying opportunity. But right now, unless something fundamentally changes, gold is short-term bearish. I'm not saying like the whole trend is over. Just saying now it's more risky to go long for your entry than that.
I'm not gonna lie. If I traded gold, I would be shorting it. Even though this is showing me that this is still a bullish because we got back above this 1541, and that's an area of support now.
Mm-hmm.
Fundamentally, I would just wait for I wouldn't short yet. I would short on the breach of this 1541. See that's the thing. Like, and this is what I teach people when they trade. Have the trade come to you. Have the market come to you. Don't chase the trade. There's no point in trying to go short now because it hasn't really given you the indication, in my opinion. I would go short like right here below this trend line. If we breach that, I will go short. And then I will ride that all the way down to this, because most likely if we breach back down, it's going to take out this region right here, the last little trough of this region right here. It's going to take that out at 1453. So I'm going to probably it's going to break that and probably head to my trend line, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And the thing is like, you look at shorter time frames right now, it's oversold. So it's right now wouldn't be a great time to short, but at the time when I was saying because like certain charts, like you look at the futures with gold, and you look at like another gold chart, like they'll have different with the indicators, they'll be off a little bit. But I was seeing,
yes, they will.
I saw bearish divergence on the daily and on the 4 hour, on the 1 hour, like on multiple times. Like it was screaming to me it was a short. I forgot what day.
You really want to go off of COMEX futures contract, forward futures contract. That's what the pros. That's what the pros, Wall Street, they're looking at that. And anything else may deviate a little bit, but you want to look at COMEX. That's where you want to look for a true. Like I said, that's a move down of almost 13% on a short. That's huge. I mean, it would take weeks to play out, but I don't have that long to wait, man. I need my money. It's JG Wentworth over here, bro. I need my money. I need it now.
But the thing is like you can identify that trend. So now if it turns bearish, it's like, okay, you have it on the higher time frames, like the trend is changing, and then you'll just go to lower time frames to continually short the bounce. Like once it bounces up a little bit, you'll probably find a trend. You'll draw your trend lines, and you'll just keep shorting the bounce and then taking profit.
Let's look at really quickly. I'm gonna pull up on just randomly on one of my charts. I'm gonna pull up the Aussie dollar, USD on Forex. Let's pull it up on
the Australian dollar.
Huh?
You said the Australian dollar? Or
yeah, I'm pulling that up now to see where we are with things. So this is on a 5 minute. So let me do something higher. Okay, so look, so on the 1 hour, just even on the 1 hour, we take a look at the 1 hour, you will see the trend, and this is what I'm talking about, guys, as far as correlation. So overall trend, even since January, the peak was January, we've been on a downward trend on the Aussie dollar since January. That's a huge, so I mean, if I take out my ruler and do a calculation here, we're talking about a 4% move down in Aussie, which correlates perfectly with what we see here, a move down in gold. So that's what I'm talking about as far as a correlation with gold and Australian dollar. Now, it's not perfect. It's not like 1-to-1, but it in general moves with the Aussie dollar, or the Aussie dollar moves with the gold price.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because I don't trade currency pairs like that. But I don't know about the correlation, but I'll definitely look into that. But yeah, if there is a strong correlation, then yeah, if gold rebounds, then you might go on the Aussie dollar. But
yeah, I wish my my brokerage house had commodities on there. They don't have commodities. So
yeah, I thought that whole coronavirus thing was going to bring down the market a lot more.
Boy, they came in and stopped that with the quickness, didn't they?
They stopped it. Yeah, they stopped that real quick, man.
They play no game. Like, that's how you know we're in the end times with this stock market. They can't allow even like a 5% move down.
Nope. Like a 5% move, and it's over, because what started happening was I started looking at the Treasury bond, and the Treasury rate started going up. So I was like, maybe this could be the start of the end. Man, they came. Then I heard that report that China pumped X amount of billions in the market. I was like, oh man, hey. And then yesterday, it's pumping, man. I mean, there was some bullish divergence on the 4 hour for like a couple of indexes, but you can play that. But the way that the week closed last week, that was extremely bearish, and like all the losses. If you look at the weekly chart now, it's like they engulfed it so far. The week ain't over, but I mean, all those losses have pretty much been recouped. So if it closes like this,
a direct, and really I think the markets reacted to nothing that the Fed did, but all of what China did. That injection of cash gave comfort to Wall Street on Monday and into
signal
today. Everything.
They gave that
these
Like,
governments.
they're not going to allow it to fall like that. But I think you made the point that that's not going to stop their GDP from falling. Like they're shutting down whole cities. Like
you can't fake that. It's no faking the funk. It's no faking the funk. I mean, it is what it is. If productivity comes to a halt, what are you gonna? Valuations have to come down at some point, and traders. So right now, man, they're pricing in. I think the markets are pricing in coronavirus being done with like next week. That's to me. That's what they're pricing in. And it's no way it's going to be done next week. It's just got here.
Yeah.
In the States.
Yeah. Yeah, and they really don't know who has it, because it takes a while for the symptoms to come out.
Up to 14 days.
Yeah,
man.
So it could be next week. You can have I think there's 11 cases so far. Next week it could be 100. Like,
exactly.
You don't know.
Exactly. I had a doctor's appointment today, so I'm leaving out of the doctor's office. I turned to my left, and this is not, I'm not being, racist or anything, but I saw an Asian lady sitting in the lobby with a mask on, and I'm like, Lord Jesus. Let me get out of here.
No. I'm going to tell you this.
Let me get out of here.
So, before all the reports and stuff came out, right, I was home, whatever, in my building, whatever, and I went downstairs, and there was an Asian lady. She had a mask on, and I was like, this is before all the reports and all this stuff came out. So, of course, a couple of days later, the reports just started to come out, and I was like, yo, this. Yeah, I was like, nah.
Oh
This
man,
is,
bro, is
yeah.
that how white people look at us when we have a do rag on? They say, "Oh God, it's a black guy with a do rag on. He's got to be a gangster." Oh Lord, we gotta leave. We gotta leave, people. Oh, it's a black person with a hoodie on. We gotta get out of here. Gotta go.
It wasn't even. It's not even the race stuff. It's just like, you know, somebody's wearing a mask. That's not normal. You don't see that. So the fact that, you know, you see that, and then 2-3 days later they're talking about this new virus. I'm like what the hell's going on? Like, so that's when I knew it was like, and then how they've been responding to it. Like they built the 2 hospitals at ground zero. Like they got pictures of the cities abandoned and stuff like that. People, you know, doing vlogs and stuff like that about that.
If you guys want to keep up to date, it's wooflu.live. That's like a rap group. I can see a rap group called wooflu. So, you know, wooflu.live, you can check it out. They'll give you live updates. I still think these numbers are grossly under. Yeah. But at any rate, you know, give you something. But at the bottom, if you scroll all the way down, you'll get the live feed or stream of them building this hospital from the ground up. Who does that?
10 days.
10 days. Look at this, people. This is live footage of them building the hospitals right now. So it's a serious. You don't do this if it's just a little bit worse than the flu. No, this is something serious. Will they have a cure? I think they'll have a cure or a vaccine for it, but it will take some time. That's my thing. I'm not saying this is like it's all over for everybody. No, it's just I'm saying in the next 4 to 6 months, you know, I don't know, man. It may get a little ugly.
It could be an issue.
Yeah,
it could be a major issue. And I think, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's been distracting because, you know, unfortunately, when it first was really starting, that people started to take notice, you know, Kobe died. And then, you know, so that was, that makes, it ain't no conspiracy. I'm just saying that's what
okay.
happened.
Like, I was like, come on.
Yeah, man. And I'm not saying like, oh, I ain't no Umar Johnson or nothing like that, though. No. Yeah. But
Umar
you got the
Johnson,
election and stuff like that. So it's been a lot of like other headlines that have been capturing stuff, and I don't think people have been really paying attention. It's been mostly jokes I've seen, like hearing that, you know, in the States, like people got memes and stuff, like, you know, with the beer and the line and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. We'll see next couple of weeks. I'm gonna see how it plays out. But
yeah, the next couple of weeks are gonna be crucial because that'll, you know, the asymptomatic range of 2 weeks, roughly the max. In the next 2 weeks, we'll see how many new cases we'll have, and then from there we'll know, like, oh snap, this is some serious stuff going on.
Yeah, and I think if it is, unfortunately, if something does really happen like that, then I don't think there's anything they can do to keep this game going because people are gonna be panicking. And then it's gonna be a perfect storm with that shit. But that was that's one of those strategies for trading. You know, like I said, more on a long-term basis, it plays out better. It's even playing out right now for Bitcoin. There's some MACD bearish divergence on the daily.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah.
So this is my chart for these are my algos running on the crypto pairs right now. But you said on the daily.
I mean, you could pick up any like alt pair with the USD, like ETH or EOS. I think EOS got, because they got MACD and RSI bearish divergence on the daily.
Let's see.
Like a lot of them do.
Well, that's on a week, so I have to go down to the day and reset the. I need to reset the. Let me see here. All right, so where do you see a divergence on this one on the daily for Bitcoin?
That's you see the high from what's the high in January?
Yeah.
And then
January
you see the high
27th.
That's the new high, but the lower high from like the 18th, like in that range. You'll see on the MACD, you'll see the.
Oh, January. I'm sorry, playing, right here.
Yeah. You can see it's playing out now. I can't see you on the screen because I got you on the phone.
Oh, okay.
But hold up. I'll try to get the date. Because the high was January 30th. And
January 30th.
The previous high was January 18th. But from the 18th,
yes, I see what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna mark this on the charts now, guys. We do these little loops like that to indicate the highs. But okay, so where's the divergence?
It's from the 18th to, you see it has that island of positive histograms.
Yeah.
And then it goes negative. And then you get another island, a positive but it's lower than the previous high. And it's a higher high. So that's higher price, but lower momentum.
Oh, so okay. But you know what? I was confused because I thought your strategy was a divergence on comparing the RSI and the MACD for divergence, not price divergence versus MACD.
I mean, it's all combined because you got to have a higher high to and a lower amounts of momentum to consider it divergence. There's different classes there's class A, which I believe is the RSI and MACD. Okay. And I think this is class C, class B, one of those for just the MACD. And it's, the grades, it's if you get class A, it's you should expect the price to reverse. But like I said, it depends on what's going on in the market itself or what's going on with the asset. If it's extremely bullish, it might dip a little bit, but then it might not even hit the 236. It could just retrace a little bit and then start running again, or hit the 236 and keep running. The thing is, it's you can't just be oh, well, this is it. This is the end of the trend. No, it's you want to identify these points. So, if you didn't get in at the bottom, these are, opportunities if the trend has changed, which I will signal the trend has changed for Bitcoin at 95.50. We break that, I mean, that was the previous high, long term on the weekly. We break that, then the whole trend has changed to bullish. Basically, you're in an uptrend. But you can use this strategy to get into positions, and then it's vice versa. On if we're in a bearish situation, and you get bearish divergence, they play out all 2018. When we got bearish divergence on the daily or the 4 hour, that's when you had those monster dumps. Those were great signals to short. In bullish conditions, it doesn't play out as big, but that's when you buy the dip, right? Because this is your dips. So that
makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That
so because I said, I just try to keep everything simple, and I read a couple books and stuff about it, and I've been training for a while, and it's just I've seen over time whatever asset, this works with any asset. It works with your the Forex pairs.
Absolutely.
So
divergence. That stuff works on any pair. As long as there's price movement, you're gonna have absolutely. That's why if you can learn how to trade fundamentally just learn how to trade, you'll be able to trade any markets.
Yep.
Any markets.
Yep.
So,
But that's all I had to share, man.
all right, man. Appreciate everyone. Give a round of applause for John Default for calling in tonight, giving us them default skills.
I'll get out what you do, man.
All right, man. Thanks. Thanks for the call. All right, people. John Hill there. Thanks for calling in, John Hill. So yeah, people, you know, like I said, many different strategies you can use. I do want to just double back really quickly because Brit VR wanted to look at the Euro Pound. That is a pair that my algo does, that I do have trading. So we'll take a look at that. And I also want to look at the rest of the week, as far as, you know, fundamentally what's going on. Because the reason is, you know, I want to bring this up because, you know, when trading automated systems, you still can manage, and you should still manage your positions and understand when news is coming out for those particular pairs, so you can tighten up your stop losses, lock in gains maybe sometimes prior to, you know, news coming out. Like, you know, in TradingView, if you have, I don't know what level you have to get the news to overlay on the chart, but as you can see these dotted lines here, I'm gonna just pull this down so you guys can see this better. You know, at 4:30 tomorrow, or 4:30 in the morning coming up, I'll be up trading this, but we have some major pound news coming out, and that is the market SIPS serve PMI final data that comes out at 4:30 this morning, or coming up this morning. So, you know, I mean, I've been in a trend all week with the pound Aussie. Over almost 300 pip trend downward. Now, what I wanted to show you guys though is that I took profit down here. Now, this was a manual profit taking. I actually did it before it hit that point because I always take profit on a support region before we hit it, just in case we don't hit it. Sometimes we never get there, so I normally take that profit before. So I did that about right here. I took some more off the table, and lo and behold, we had a bounce, move right up, you know. And I could have actually reshorted that same position, that lot size right here if I wanted to, because that's it defended. Basically the bulls couldn't break through and change the pivot, change the direction of the market. It did it twice here, hit my line. But you know, you want to keep in mind when trading, even automated systems, have your brain or your orientation together. Know what's going on in the markets. You need to do that. So Jimmy Bag says, hey man, you have travel plans for Texas in April, charity event and crypto meetup. Heard through the grapevine you will be there. Hey, maybe. I know that's the event that Bitcoin Ben is putting together, so you may see me there. Absolutely. Thanks for checking in, Jimmy Bags. So yeah, that's the move. You know, we're still short. Got about 45% of my trade still on the table. I moved my stop loss down to about this right above. I usually update my stop losses every once in a while as I get in the money. But yeah, very big week this week already. It's only Tuesday, over 600 pips. And just to put that in perspective, again, if you're trading one mini lot per trade and you have 6 pairs open, and cumulatively you did 600 pips in a week, it's over $4,000. And just trading one mini lot over 6 pairs. So, you know, it's good money. And 600 pips is a lot of pips. And depending on how much you're trading, is definitely a lot of money. So yeah, that's that pair. There was something I need to look at. Oh, Brit VR wanted to look at Euro Pound, and that is a trade, a pair that I do have my algo paired to, as you can see. So right now, Brit, we went long and got tapped out. So sometimes there's a divergence in my algo where you'll see it alternate. Like you'll see a red, green type of situation where you see a toggle of the sentiment. Well, when you have that, sometimes it's a good trade where you'll be able to get in long in a bearish momentum, and you'll really make a lot of money in those type of trades. Unfortunately, in this particular one, it did continue on downward. So at this point, just for future reference, Brit VR, if the Euro Pound trades anywhere above 0.8440, what's that, 0.8487, that's a buy. My algo will be buying any place above that region. So I'm just gonna mark that so you'll know what I'm right here. Any place above here, my algo will be going long. So you may not have access to it, but that's something that you can mark, and maybe you can put a buy limit order in right now and just wait for the market to catch that area. Now you won't have access to when to get out, which is the most important aspect of trading, but at least you'll know where to get in. And that's one other thing I want to highlight before we wrap up tonight. Trading. So the entry is not the most important part. You can miss the entry. You can be off on your entry, give or take, right? You should always have a fixed amount you're willing to lose on every trade, so your stop loss, but you could be off a little bit on your entry. The exit is what matters, because if you don't have a plan to exit your trade, you're going to lose all your money. You're going to lose all the gains you have in your trade. So the exit is the most critical portion of trading, and is your exit. You got to remember that. So have a game plan when you're exiting, to exit your position, or at least to take some profit on your trade. Have a game plan right out the gate. Right when you enter that trade, you should have a game plan on take profit points, maybe at support or resistance areas, depending on which way you're going in the markets. Fibonacci, trend lines. Have areas where you're going to take profit. Have areas where you're going to take and scale out of your entire position. That's so important. WGI Vision says, where can I find a good Forex 101? Me. Oh, you mean like material? I don't know, man. I don't even know, to be honest with you. I don't even know. You need a trading coach. That's really what you need, because it's a process. It's something you have to mentally learn how to do. And so you need a coach. You need a trading coach that will meet with you, an accountability partner that will meet with you maybe weekly. If you're really taking this thing seriously, you want to make a living off of it, as I do, you need to find someone that will meet with you maybe once a week, twice a week, and help you through your trades. Because I was in a live stream last night in the chat room. I wasn't doing a live stream, but I was in the chat room, and I saw someone saying, it was like a trading chat room, and they're like, yeah, I did $40,000 in 1 month. I took an account from $1,000 to $40,000 three times over. Three times, he did it 3 times. And the first thing I said is, must have been demo money. He's like, yeah, it's demo money. He was a newer trader. It's levels as far as mentally preparing yourself from paper trading to trading on a demo account live to trading real money live is a process, and essentially is you're trading against yourself, and you got to have your game plan together when you're trading, because when it's real money on the table, you see you're looking at your account and maybe you're up. I normally like to use pips instead of dollars because it's relative. Some people may trade 10 lots, or one lot or half a lot, whatever. But when you're looking at your account and you're up 300 pips across your account, or not even that much, 100 pips, are you willing to stick to your trading plan and let it execute, or do you get scared and say, I want to take that 100 pips off the table? That's the difference between a demo account and a real account. You're talking about real money at that point. So those are the types of things you have to train yourself and over time get better at managing your emotions. It's managing your emotions. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm sorry, man. I really do not know any good one-on-one Forex training. You can always hit me up. I do consulting for trading, so you can always hit me up at cryptoblood.io. And let me actually pull that up to show you exactly where you can go to get that info. So I'll pull that up in a second. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have for tonight, ladies and gents. I hope that Brit VR, you saw that trade recommendation for the euro pound. Again, you're gonna want to enter your trade here at 84. I'm just gonna double check for you just to make sure. 84.88, somewhere around there. That's when you would want to go long on euro pound. Again, it won't give you an exit strategy, but hey, that'll be at least a step in the right direction. A step in the right direction. We do have some news for the pound coming out. Some major news, as I stated just before. PMI, final PMI coming out at 4:30 in the morning. I'll be up trading that, and we'll see if it continues. It carries the trend in the same direction, because I am still short some of my pound pairs. Look at that euro yen. The yen dollar. Still in that trade. Over 100 pips in that trade right now. Almost 100 pips. At its height, 100 pips for sure. Just shy, 94 pips at its height. We're currently about 85 pips in the money on this one. I got my stop losses tightened up under here, so I won't lose any money at this point. It hasn't taken any profits automatically. But yeah, good trades right there. But I wanted to show you guys really quickly. I'm long still euro yen as well, as you can see. But I am short pound yen is what I wanted to show you guys. I'm about break even right now. So we'll see what happens by 4:30. If the fundamentals carry this trend in my favor, or we reverse and we move the other direction. Again, I don't care. I don't even try to predict which way it's going to go. I'm a price action trader. That means I let the market tell me which direction it's going to go, and I just follow. You let the whales let you know which way to go, and you just like a minnow fish, you eat the scraps. You let the big boys, you follow the lead. You follow them. That's all. You don't have to try to predict and have a magic 8 ball and have 9,000 different indicators on the. No, you don't have to do any of that, people. I'm telling you. You don't have to go through all the madness. Let's see what the chat room's saying real quick. Yeah, so WGI Vision, what you want to do is jump over. If you want to contact me, you can hit me up under trading services. You'll see the Trade Naked trading course. You can do that. You do with this trading course, and again, I'm gonna change this. It's gonna be the same price, but it's just gonna be ongoing, because what I'm finding is that people get a lot out of it, but it's like sports. Like if you're playing basketball or something, like you can have a great coach. You know, you go to a great basketball camp over the summer. I used to go to ABC camps. You know, the 5-star camps. You get a lot out of it, right? But if you don't have that reinforcement after you go back home, then it doesn't matter. So you can get over there and sign up, and you'll get. It's a 2-part. I break it up in 2 parts. You'll see all the details. I'm not gonna go through it right now, but yeah, if you want to get some help with that, you can surely hit me up on that tip. And then what else was there? The Tech Geek says, killing it. You can't be emotional in trading. Absolutely, you cannot be emotional in trading. It'll be the worst thing for you. You'll exit your positions early, and you'll stay in positions too long because you let emotions. And that's why I took my trading strategies and automated them. It makes everything so much easier. Listen, there's no holy grail to this thing. You'll have drawdowns. That's why you can't overtrade your account. You're gonna have periods of drawdowns. It just is what it is. There's no magic trading bot, but it greatly helps you lock in profits when you let emotions leave the room while you're trading. But yeah, we had unprecedented injections of capital by the PBOC. They added $21.7 billion to the markets on Monday, according to the Bloomberg calculations based on the statement on Sunday. This is crazy. The money will be supplied using reverse repurchase agreements. I'm going to have Jim Willie back on. We're going to talk about this. Because we talked about this before in the Jim Willie, I think in the last Jim Willie interview, we talked reverse repurchase operations with the reverse repos. So I'm definitely going to have him back on. We're going to have to talk about this latest move by the PBOC. And so this reverse repo is to ensure liquidity is reasonable and ample during the outbreak. The total injection announced was 1.2 trillion yuan, the largest single day addition of its kind in data going back to 2004. However, the net effect is much lower as there are more than 1 trillion yuan of short-term funds scheduled to mature or drop off, essentially expire on Monday. So this is crazy. And I think that's why you had the stock market go crazy. Stock market went ham today. Tesla, I don't know if you guys saw, I watched Squawk Box and all those shows in the morning on CNBC just to get a gauge of what those idiots are talking about. And I don't blame them, right? You got to sell ads. You got to kind of pander to that whole industry. But they had a guy on there this morning, Barron's, one of the like legendary long hodl type of investment funds. He got into Tesla at $230. He bought 1 million shares. So that's $230 million invested. And we now know it's over $900 today. Did a double in less than a month. 2 months, it's doubled. Tesla did. And this guy had the audacity to say he's not selling one single share. He's not taking profit, not even taking the principal out. That's how crazy this market is. Granted, Tesla, Elon Musk, genius, absolute genius. But if you compare its cash flow or its revenue, I think it's a 400 billion versus like, I forgot how much a GM or GE and some of these other companies that that Tesla's market cap is bigger than now. Its revenue doesn't even match it, and so now Wall Street is talking about, oh, we need to look at Tesla as a software stock now. So software stocks usually have higher PE ratios. So now the narrative is, it's not automotive, because if it's an automotive company, this thing is beyond a bubble. This is like Enron, okay? If you're gonna look at this through the lens of an automotive company, now the narrative is, it's a tech company. And the thing is, people, this thing, it won't end. It won't end until there's an event that money won't fix, that injections like this that we see the PBOC doing, that we see the Federal Reserve doing, repo, it won't end until their activities won't fix the situation. And I'm not wishing this on us at all. I hope that we get this pandemic under wraps as far as this novel coronavirus. But it will take an event like the novel coronavirus to escalate for it to be a situation where these central banks won't be able to fix panic. They won't be able to paper over panic. Need, right? They won't be able to paper over need. They can paper over greed and fear, but a need, no, they can't paper over that. So we'll see what happens with that. The Tech Geek says pigs get slaughtered. Yes, he tripping. Got to get paid, not to care about a 5x return. Yeah, that's insane. Like if I were a investor in his fund, I would be so pissed right now. He's got to be lying, like John Hill said. He's got to be lying. He had to have been lying. Absolutely. He just hadn't taken any profit yet. He didn't want the market to run ahead of him. But you gotta, come on, man. 5x, you're not taking. When do you take profit? When do you take profit? I saw some indications or some estimates out there from some analysts. Get this, people. $7,000 price targets for Tesla. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. Jimmy Bag says Space Force going to be Moon and Mars according to State of the Union tonight. Sci-fi world coming in hot. Uncle Cliff is right. Yeah. Space Force project is definitely something that's going to be in generations to come. Something to be reckoned with. Malik Howard said he has nowhere else to put it. True, but also not true. I mean, you gotta the dollar. You can lock in some of those gains. Go to cash, man. You gotta follow what I'm not like a big Warren Buffett fan, but you look at his track record and how much money he has under management, AUM. You gotta look at what he's doing, and he's like over 50% net cash right now. So he's seeing something where you're gonna be able to buy these assets at a cheaper price. Why not double or triple the amount of shares in Tesla you have by at least taking a third off the table and going to cash and waiting for a pullback? So let's see. Clade said Hex is real. I heard Hex did like a 7x or something like that. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm cool on the Hex tip, bro. I'm cool on the hex tip. It doesn't. The problem with that is the people that are in hex, to me, are the people that will never sell. So they're always going to be looking for the next 10x, and so when it crashes, they lose almost everything or break even or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I'm good, man. I like to buy. I don't actually like to buy too many cryptocurrencies, period. I'm more into like crypto assets. Malik Howard said, me personally, I take profits. Yeah, I got to take something off the table, bro. Got to take something off the table. I'm sorry. It just makes no sense. So that's where we are. Like Alan Greenspan said, irrational exuberance. And I forgot to say this at the beginning, guys. To kind of lure people, keep people in on the stream. But I want to give away a week's worth of I don't know how many people out there in the chat room below. Let me know, the people in there, let me know which one of you guys trade Forex, because what I want to do is give you guys a week's worth of my signal. You'll just get the you essentially just get the you'll get a link to the chart. You'll get a link to my chart for a week. I have to set up the a new link for you, so you have a public access to it. But you'll at least be able to, shadow trade it and make some money. So let me know who in the chat room. Drop me your, actually what I need you to do is drop me your email address if you don't mind. Or I don't know what's the best way for me to do that, honestly. I didn't think it out. I just knew I wanted to give someone access to the algo. So Clade said, I hate hex. Hex is a scam. I'm a hex. Man, what are you talking about, bro? Clade, man, stop drinking the juice, man. You over there sauced up tonight, man. You are sauced up, my friend. So yeah, let me know in the comments, in the chat room right now, or in the comments if you trade FX. I'll pick a random person and send you a link to the chart. And actually, I'll send you a link to the chat room as well, where you'll get alerts for a week. So let me know, and we'll do that. Man, Clay, man, you going crazy, bro. You gotta stop snorting hex coke. Oh man, that's pretty much it though for tonight, ladies and gents. Again, beautiful week starting off the week. Strong, boy. Starting off the week very strong. So hope you guys enjoyed tonight. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And drop me a message if you trade Forex. I'll set you up for a week. All right. That's pretty much it, though. I'm out of here, people. Holla.
I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live. live.